Hey y'all, it's Crazy Mama Kelly coming at you from my part of PA. Well, it's been a long day for me. I was on first shift all week. That's probably why you can see the bags underneath my eyes. Not used to that. Third shifter here. I figured I'd tell you a little story about sitting in my backyard. I figured I'd tell you a little story about Gettysburg Ghosts and Ouija boards. In that order. Well, just a little background on Ouija boards. They're also called the spirit board or talking boards. They're used a lot in occult practices. They came about in 1886, I think, was the first printing of it. It was like a novelty game, innocent parlor game. But if anybody knows anything about the paranormal research and spiritualist movement, it started early in the 1800s, like Victorian era. They're really big into that. And the person that, I think his name was Elijah Bond, was the first person to come up with Ouija board. The Ouija board is like usually has hello and goodbye on it. It's various symbols on it and the alphabet, the letters of the alphabet, and numbers from 1 to 9. And they have a little heart-shaped instrument, either made of plastic or wood, and it's called a blichette, I think. But this story I'm going to tell you about, and sometimes they have yes and no on them too. My personal experiences with the Ouija board is kind of a little bit scary. My cousins were using a Ouija board at one time, and it just was freaking weird because we lost a deceased member of our family, and when they were playing with the Ouija board, they contacted what we think was maybe my cousin, or a demon of some sort or whatever. And I'm not much one for thinking everything's demon, because that's kind of Puritan way of thinking. But yeah, it freaked us out a bit, my babysitter and all of us out a bit, because it happened. So it's just so strange. So the Ouija board was thrown across the room and we never picked it up. I have never played with the Ouija board. Other divining tools used in the occult studies, usually tarot cards, and ruins, and sometimes orglum and witches' ruins and all sorts of happy stuff, spirit boards, talking boards, all that stuff, divining rods even. A lot of ghost hunters, when they're trying to talk to spirits or whatever, or contact spirits, they usually carry around with them EMF, electromagnetic detectors. And they figure the wise old tale is energy. There's the ghost spirits are made of magnetic energy, and when you hold these EMF detectors, they exist. If you find more magnetic energy or like spikes or raises, then that you might be having a spirit activity around you, or else also thermometers. They carry around thermometers, and a spike in temperature also indicates a ghostly presence or whatnot. That's all that. Divining tools and everything. They say ghosts are attracted to energy. Like, if you ever watched any of those ghost shows, I'm not sure if they're real or fake. I'm pretty sure they're fake, but, sensationalism and stuff like that. But there are some honest, true ghost stories out there in the world. But when you talk about the occult and everything, when you use a spirit board, you're attracting energy. It's, occult practice in itself. You're probably bringing energy into you're messing with spirits when you do this. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I don't agree with it. I'm just saying if you're going to do it, be careful. And that's why in the occult, when you practice, you usually cast a circle, and the circle is for your protection. You know what I mean? You call the quarters. And when you call the quarters, those are meant to, you're asking for their guidance, you're asking for their protection, because they're not going to let anything in or out of that circle that you're in. And you stay within that circle until you break the circle. And you have to use protective methods to do that also. So when most people, I don't know about all, but I know most people, when they do the occult studies and when they do cast circle or whatever, they're going to draw positive and negative energy, because it's just a big old energy thing. That's how they get their spellcraft work done. It's cone of power. It's raised by the participants in the circle or whatever in the ritual, and it raises the power up, and that it sends your intentions, good or bad, towards whatever. Mostly good from what I can understand. I mean, there are bads out there, but mostly good from what I'm understanding. But anyways, enough about that. Just know that if you're messing with a Ouija board or spirit board or talking board, you got to kind of know what you're doing. I'm going to say research, 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 read, read, read. It's not a game. I don't know why they're sold in games, sections or whatever, because they're not games. It's not just, oh, innocent fun. You may think it's that, but you're going to open up the portal to the unknown. I mean, there's awesome spirits out there. There are beautiful spirits, beautiful creatures out there on the other side, on the other veil. But there's also going to be negative spirits. And there's also going to be negative people that have passed on, and you're inviting them in. When you're playing with that kind of stuff, you're inviting them in. So always be protected. Always make sure you're protected and you know what you're doing at all times. Or else you're going to have to call somebody like me that might know what I'm doing, or a spiritualist or somebody that's going to help you cast out whatever you brought to you. Because you just got to always be mindful and respectful when you're using them kind of instruments. But anyways, on to this story. This story happened around 1993, and it happened in Gettysburg. There's a couple college students. I know when we say college students, are out experimenting, learning about life and everything, and just generally trying to have fun. They're young spirits. They're out there having a good time. They just want to have fun. Like girls just want to have fun. Well, anyways, this was a bunch of guys and girls, and some of their friends lived near Gettysburg. So they were like, oh my God, my friends are coming from college. It's a big break. Let's have some fun. Let's take them to Devil's Den. And this was on the anniversary of the Battle of Devil's Den down in Gettysburg. And the book that I have, The Great Big Book of Everything, if you're interested in the story, it's in there. And it has a bunch of stories about Gettysburg. Oh my gosh, bunch of stories. I think I'm going to maybe have to do entire video section, different videos of just Gettysburg alone. Because there's so many spiritual activity down there. Because of the date of the battles. We lost millions of lives, thousands of lives, possibly. I'm not even sure the count. I'd have to ask my husband. People died in Gettysburg. Everybody knows that. Well, anyways, they decided to take these people's Devil's Den. So they had their spirit, and they're like, hey, I got a spirit board. Let's try to contact some spirits. They want to see, their friends that took them there, that from Gettysburg, knew there's spiritual activity there. But then their other friends were being smartasses, and they're like, oh, let's just go out and get our spirit board out of the trunk of the car, and we're just going to contact somebody. Well, they did contact people. They contacted 2 individuals. One was spelled, it's Eric. They got a hold of somebody named Eric. And instead of it's spelled out, when the bluchette leads to somewhere, it spells out a name. Well, instead of spelling Eric in the modern day phrases as E-R-I-C, didn't spell it out that way. It spelled it Eric, like A-I-R-I-C. I think. I might be right. I have to write it down. I don't know. But that's what they got. And then they asked if there's any other spirits. And then they came up with a Q. It pointed to the letter Q. And then it pointed to the other letter D. So they nicknamed this. They put it together and they put Cutie. And then they talked to Eric, and they were having communications, and everything was going well. It was a positive experience. It wasn't being nasty, no spookiness. I mean, it was kind of spooky, I'm sure. Spooky and thrilling at the same time. If you know what I'm talking about, that's what draws us to Halloween. That's what draws us to haunted houses, scary movies, or whatever. That was kind of mindset these children, and I'm going to call them children because they're still college students, so in a way they're children. Young adults, I should say, I guess. Young adults, it was cool to them. They're just all like chilling. They're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. Well, it came time. It was getting late. They knew the park was going to close soon because down in Gettysburg, the battlegrounds, they close. It's national monuments, so they don't want you messing with stuff. So there's a certain time. It's like a park. It's a certain time you have to leave. You just can't stay there. You got to leave. So unless you're a reenactor, and that's totally other different story. Might have to interview my husband maybe sometime. I can tell you about his life and times as a reenactor. I think that'd be kind of neat. Might have to do that. Put that on the list. Anyways, yeah, that's what they decided. It's time to say goodbye. They were saying, oh, yep, goodbye. Thanks for contacting us from the other side. That was awesome. You know. And then before they left, actually, one of their friends blurted out, the smartass again, blurted out, oh, yeah, why don't you guys come and meet me in my car? Well, this freaked everybody out. They're like, are you kidding me? You know, what are you doing? You know, he's just being a smartass. He thought it would be funny to watch people squirm in their boots or whatever. So they hurried up and tried to get to their car because they were totally freaked out by then. And when they got to the car, before they got down past Slaughter Pen and all that down there, they got to where the parking lot was. And before they got right to the parking lot, they seen across the view of their car. And they freaked the hell out. They're screaming, oh my God. They could not believe their eyes what they were seeing. Near their vehicle, I guess, was, they described it as like a bluish gray mist gentleman standing there with like blue-gray pants. Shadow. Sorry, my dog's being a jerk. Come on, Shadow. Come on. I don't think you guys ever seen Shadow. Come here. Shadow. Come on, baby. Oh, you probably won't see her this video. She's just being all like, whatever. No, settle down. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Well, anyways, yeah, there was a blue-gray mist. And it was formed it exuded a light, and it formed a human body. It was a young man standing there in like federal blue pants and like old-fashioned style dress from the Civil War era. Beside him was a lady dressed all out in her best, Sunday best garb. She's standing there in her hoop skirt and all that next to their car. Needless to say, this freaked these people out, like totally freaked them out. I don't even know how they got the courage to walk up to them, but the guy that was actually mouthing back to meet me in my car actually did have the courage, and he actually did walk up to them. But after he got up to them and stuff, and his friends hurried up and got previous cars, and they threw the spirit board in there, and they turned on the motor, and they left. They skidded out of there so quick. And it's kind of funny because when they turned around, the mists were kind of like finally starting to fade, I guess, because they were kind of probably mad that they were like raised their spirits and everything, and they thought they were all excited. Oh, they're actually communicating with somebody, and they just ditched them. Just like any other person. They're like, seriously, you ditched us, I mean, they're human spirits. They're going to be human, They're human at one time, and they're restless, and of course they're going to be all mad. Somebody ditched them like that. That's terrible. So, that's the story. And to verify, you think it's college kid's story, it's just made up or whatever, but to verify this story was actually a reenactor that was down near, I think they called it Plum Creek or whatever, and she was trying to hurry to get out of the park before it closed. So they're in their car or whatever, and when she got to the end of the bridge, she looked over, and her mouth was agape. She could not believe what she's seen. She's seen these two images, so that testified to verify their story was actually correct. And do I believe it? I've been to Gettysburg once, and I spent the night in Quality Inn down there, and it's right next to General Lee's headquarters. That's part of the hotel itself. And one of the rooms we stayed in, it said that it served as a field hospital. I didn't experience anything paranormal, to say the least. I did not sleep very well. I kept on waking up expecting to see somebody watching me sleep, or watching my children sleep in the hotel room. We walked the streets, we walked the battlefields, we tried to respect, give reverency to all the people that fell, because, it's a bunch of monuments. You're walking on history, you're walking on where these people fought and died for their beliefs. And it's just amazing. I mean, it's breathtaking. It really is. It just puts, I mean, when you read about history, it just is like kind of boring and dry or whatever. I never thought that, but other people probably do. But when you go down to Gettysburg, just to see the majesty and to see what these men were fighting for, and, you know, to hold the little round top, you know, little round top and big round top, just to see what those Southern men had to go do to go up that hill to try and be, you know, try to win a little bit of land for their, you know, Southern patriots or whatever. It's just, it makes you wonder. It makes you question things. It just puts you in a silent reverency for these people that fought, died, you know. But that's my story today about Gettysburg, and that's a little bit of history about the Ouija board. So, and occult practices and whatever else. If any of you were ever interested in that kind of thing, I just got the information off Google. You can Google it, about the Ouija board itself. And like I said, the Big Blue Book of Pennsylvania Ghost Stories is the book I got it out of. So hit that book up if you're more interested in and occult studies. There's tons of books out there. You just got to follow your heart and find the right path. So hope you're all doing well. I got a couple items I'm going to probably put up on crazymamakelly.com, Etsy.com. I finally got my shop up. I got 2 items for sale on that shop. I'm hoping to get a few more, maybe a couple old railroad spikes from the Kinzu Bridge maybe, and if I can collect a couple, and just different doodads from the area. I think that'd be kind of cool if you're a Pennsylvania lover. And of course, the crafts and everything I make, you know, they're all reasonably priced and handmade by me. So it'd be awesome if you could support us, and I think that'd be really cool. I mean, don't worry, I'm still keeping my job. Hello, everybody got to work. All right, thanks for watching. Blessings. I really appreciate you all tuning in and tuning out and watching me. It just gives me a little bit of much love for y'all. All right, blessings. Take care. Peace. And have a lovely night. I'm going to go sit out here for a while and maybe chill with my pup and go in and hang out. All right, bye-bye. Peace.